Hi, welcome to For the Meeple, by the Meeple. My name is Mike Carpenter, and today we're going to take a look at No Thanks. By now, most of you have probably played No Thanks, but I thought I would take a look at this classic card game and tell you what I think. Let's take a look. Here we have a 3-player setup of No Thanks. The game features 2 components. These red chips, which each player will start with 11, and a deck of 33 cards, numbered 3 through 35. At the beginning of the game, players are going to remove 9 of these cards at random and put the rest of the cards in the middle of the table. The important thing to understand about these cards is that the value of the card is how many points you're going to take. The objective of the game is to have the fewest points at the end of the game. So, the first player will again flip over the top card and decide whether or not they would like to take the card and place it in front of them, or put a chip on the card. If the player decides to put a chip on the card, the player will go to the left. That player will then decide. It will continue around the table. Maybe it gets around a couple times. And then I decide I'd like to take the card. Because if I take the card with chips on the card, I add those chips to my supply. These chips are important because at the end of the game, they're going to take away from your total points. The player who takes the card will then flip the next card, and this 20 presents an interesting situation because what I'm trying to do, and all players, is create a run. A run would be a number of cards in order. So if I have the 22, the 21, and the 20, I'm only going to score the lowest number, the 20, at the end of the game. However, I know that I want the card, but I also know that my opponents may not want 20 points. So instead of taking the card right away, I place a chip on the card. Play passes, maybe it goes around twice, and now I don't want to push my luck too much, so I take the card. If I allow too many chips to build on the card, one of the opponents may take the card instead of me getting an opportunity to lower my score later in the game. So now, again, I'm the active player because I've taken the last card. I flip the next one. I don't want the 10 this time, even though it's a low number, so I put a number on or chip on it. It passes. Let's say this player takes the card, adds the chips to his supply, and now he becomes the active player when the new card comes up. So this time it's a 16. He already has his 10 points, the 16 and the 10. It's going to be difficult to make a run there. So he puts a chip on the card. I put a chip on the card. Let's say it goes around several times. This player ends up with the 16. They're the active player. They see a 23 comes out. Now this is another interesting situation because the 23 is obviously not going to help the player with the 16 because I have a card between those two numbers, so they cannot create a run from 16 to 23. The 10 is even further away, so it doesn't help them, so we go card, and or chip, and it gets to me, and I know that if I take the card, I can slip the 23 under my 22, and it does not affect me negatively at the end of the game, because the 22 would be all I score. However, I also see an opportunity to drive the price up of this card because they obviously don't want the 23 and they definitely do not want the 23. So I maybe put a chip on the card and force that action to go around the table collecting chips on the card. So let's say eventually I do take it with several chips on the card. I would put the cards like that and the 23 does not hurt me. We're going to continue through this until we've gone all the way through the deck. And let's say at the end of the game, these are the cards I have in front of me. I wasn't able to pick up my 21, so I have 22, 42, I have a run here, 45 points. I'm then going to subtract the number of red chips I have from my total card value, and that is my score. The player with the lowest score wins the game. Like I said at the beginning, most of you have likely played No Thanks, and that's because this is a classic card game that just about anyone can sit down and enjoy. But how do I feel about this game compared to some of the others like it? At first glance, it makes you think of Uno or Phase 10 because of the way the cards look. But in my opinion, this is a far better game than those games. There is a lot more going on in this game than meets the eye. There is strategy, and while it's deceptively deep, it's not extremely deep. There are things on your turn that you can do that are more exciting than just having the cards tell you what to do. When it gets to my turn, do I want to push my luck? Do I want to put a chip on it and see if the card's still there after it goes around the table? Are there so many chips on the card that I just have to take it and take the large number of points? What I do on my turn is going to have a big impact on the end of the game scoring for myself or for my opponents. The bluffing and the reverse psychology in this game make it a lot more interesting than some of the standard card games. You can play this game multiple times in one sitting. It's quick and easy to learn. It's something that you can fill some time with while you wait on friends to come over. It's the kind of game you want to have in your collection for a lot of situations. You can take it on the go, you can fill some time, you can do a lot of different things with this game, and you can play it with just about anyone. The other players don't have to be extremely avid gamers to enjoy this game. The one thing that is a little confusing about the game is the scoring. At first, you tell someone, well, this card is worth 20 points, and they think, well, 20 points is probably pretty good. However, then you have to explain to them that you're trying to have the lowest score. And while it's relatable, if you explain it in terms of golf or something else that involves lower score, they can wrap their head around it, and it doesn't ruin the game, it doesn't break the game, it doesn't make it too impossible to play. It's just something to be aware of that some people may have some questions about at first. Other than that, I have no complaints about this game. I would say definitely give it a try if you're looking for a good card game to add to your collection. And if you've already played it, I think you should continue to play it as often as possible because it's a great game. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.